You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and White sports fans, one of the biggest questions right now in the NFL is who leaked the Jon Gruden emails out for the whole world to see? Who ordered the code red, so to speak? Now, there's been speculation that it was the NFL, and I also believe that when the emails got out, nobody really knew that this all had to do with the Washington football team. The Washington football team, as we have said before, they have seemed to have gotten a pass in all of this. Jon Gruden has been the fall guy. He is the only person to lose his job, and he had nothing to do with the Washington football team. Now, I find it very, very hard to believe, folks, out of 650,000 emails, that Jon Gruden only had the quote-unquote bad emails. Not buying that. I'm really not buying that. However, now, guys, we actually have a person that was associated with the Washington football team, at that time known as the Washington Redskins, and I'm talking about a former cheerleader. This former cheerleader now believes that owner Dan Snyder is the one that leaked the Gruden emails to take the heat off himself and put it on Bruce Allen, who was the president of the then Washington Redskins. Let's go here to Fox News. Former Washington cheerleader believes owner Dan Snyder was behind Gruden email leak, pushes for transparency. Snyder attorney denies allegations as categorically false. The Washington football team has made headlines again after Jon Gruden resigned as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders last week over emails that revealed racist, misogynistic, and homophobic remarks made by the then ESPN analyst to former team executive Bruce Allen. But one former Washington employee says the team has a much bigger problem. Melody Coburn is a wife, mother, and business owner, but she has now seemingly taken on the role as a voice for the voiceless. For 14 years, she worked as a member of the Washington football team cheerleading squad, where she was witness to years of workplace misconduct, which was eventually investigated by the NFL and later reopened, leading to the Gruden email leak. Now, the NFL completed their investigation on Washington, yet the NFL has not really said anything about the Washington football team. I find that very interesting. And of course, we know that Jon Gruden takes all the blame and he's thrown under the bus and he loses his job. But for Coburn, the biggest issue has yet to be addressed. She says this, quote, "We know that is a very, very small fraction of the 650,000 emails that we know they have access to." She told Fox News on the leaked emails initially reported by the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. Quote, "These emails were also a result of the investigation that we participated in. Over 150 of us, former employees of the Washington football team, countless hours, lots of trauma relived, lots of emotions and anxiety, and yet the only person to take the fall for these terrible wrongdoings was a coach of another team." Close quote. That's exactly what we've been saying. And then at that, for the most part, Jon Gruden wasn't even an NFL coach at the time. He was working for ESPN. And yet he's the only one to take the fall. And Melody Coburn just called them out on this. The NFL has denied releasing the emails to any media. Lead spokesman Brian McCarthy confirmed this to Pro Football Talk in a report published last week. Now, if the NFL did not release these emails, who did then? Well, this is who she thinks released the emails. Quote, "I believe Dan Snyder leaked these emails," Coburn told Fox News. "I believe he's trying to put all the blame on Bruce Allen. He sent over a dozen private investigators to my colleagues' homes across the country to show up on cheerleaders' doorsteps and ask them what their relationship with Bruce Allen was. An attorney with a firm representing Snyder told Fox News in a statement Tuesday that any claim that he or anyone within the organization was behind the media leaks was categorically false. Now, however, Dan Snyder seems to have gotten a bit pass in this. Now, he would greatly benefit by leaking the emails. I'm not saying that he did, but there's no doubt about it. He would benefit from this because the heat would be off of him. Because now that the world knows about the Gruden emails, who's talking about Dan Snyder? Nobody. Nobody's talking about Dan Snyder. Everybody's talking about Jon Gruden. That had nothing to do with the workplace misconduct with the Washington Redskins. Interesting that Dan Snyder has gotten a pass. And it goes on, it says, however, Coburn said she felt confident that Snyder was behind the leaks. Quote, I feel like he's trying to pin everything on Bruce, right? And place all the blame for all of the bad culture on him, which just isn't true. Any suggestion by Ms. Coburn that anyone associated with the Washington football team was behind any leaks concerning Jon Gruden is categorically false and part of a pattern of misinformation being spread by Ms. Coburn, the attorney Jordan Sieve told Fox News. Now, I will say this. When it comes to any type of misconduct that's been going on for years with the Washington football team / Redskins, the buck should stop with who? Dan Snyder. He owns the team. Now, if Dan Snyder is trying to place all of the blame on Bruce Allen, why did you keep him? Why? I'm asking that question. It goes on, quote, this leak brings to light that the women of the Washington football team were exposed in these emails, and we don't know the extent of it, Coburn said. An initial report from the Washington Post in 2020 revealed at the time a request for an unofficial video showing the cheerleaders being unknowingly exploited by the Times, reporting Monday that emails between Gruden, Allen, and other men have circulated topless photos of women, including one of 2 Washington team cheerleaders. And we had talked about that in previous videos. Quote, it's terrifying, Coburn said of the latest revelation. Like I said, these women cheered a decade ago. They are now mothers. They have careers. They own businesses. They're teachers. Think about how it impacts them. They're reliving this trauma that they went through the first time with the videos when the videos came out. And now they're just going through all these emotions again. Nobody realizes that these women can't speak up now, she added. They signed those NDAs, and if I don't do it, I don't know who else is going to do it. Coburn, like other former employees, signed an NDA, but she told Fox News that hers was revoked in order to speak to the NFL as part of the investigation, which resulted in a $10 million fine against Washington. And that was pretty much it. I mean, the Redskins, nothing really happened to them. Nothing. I mean, a $10 million fine, some training, that was pretty much it. Dan Snyder pretty much gets off scot-free. We have not really heard from him whatsoever. Ever since the Gruden thing went down, Dan Snyder has to be smiling a lot because nobody in the media is talking about him. Nobody cares about the Washington football team and all of the misconduct that was happening over there. And obviously, the Washington football team was guilty of something. They got fined $10 million. But the media doesn't say anything about any of that. They just go after Gruden. And this is probably what Dan Snyder wanted. But I'm not saying that he did this. But what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of the allegations that Dan Snyder leaked the emails of Jon Gruden out there for everybody to see, to place the blame on Bruce Allen and not himself? This is interesting, guys. So let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.